contact information, we'd love to hear from you. Right now it's time for our final segment. It's our G&T Q&A, and the question today, as we mentioned earlier, if baptism is essential, why did Paul say, Christ did not send me to baptize, but to preach the gospel? Well, that passage is 1 Corinthians 1, verse 17. And again, it reads, For Christ did not send me to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not with wisdom of words, lest the cross of Christ should be made of no effect. But we have to look at the context in which that statement is made. First of all, if it is literally the case that Christ did not send Paul to baptize anyone, then why did he ever baptize anyone? And he did baptize more than one. And so he would be violating what Christ said if that were the case. Well, that's not the case. He's saying that Christ did not send me only to baptize. It's an elliptical expression. He did not send me to primarily baptize in terms of just being involved in baptizing people, but to preach the gospel. Now, in the preaching of the gospel, baptism logically follows. But why would Paul make this statement? Well, the reason he would make this statement is because if you go back to verse 10 of 1 Corinthians chapter 1, he pleads with the brethren that they speak the same thing, that there be no divisions among them, but that they be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. Then he says, For it has been declared to me concerning you, my brethren, by the elders of Chloe's household, that there are contentions among you. Now, what were those contentions? Well, some of you, one of you says, I am of Paul, I am of Apollos, I am of Cephas, Peter, or I am of Christ. Then he asks, Is Christ divided? Was Paul crucified for you? Or were you baptized in the name of Paul? Then we get to the point here, I thank God that I baptized none of you except Crispus and Gaius. Why, Paul? Verse 15, Lest anyone should say that I have baptized in my own name. I don't want you to become a follower of Paul. And then he says, And I also baptized the household of Stephanus. Besides, I do not know whether I baptized any other. Now we're back to verse 17. For Christ did not send me to baptize. It's not important whether I baptized you or not. That's what he's saying. He didn't send me to make sure that I baptized everyone whom I taught. Everyone whom I taught had to be baptized. That's essential. But I don't want you following me. And I'm thankful I didn't baptize any more of you than I did because of the attitude you have toward becoming preacher followers, in effect. That's what he's saying. He is not downplaying the importance of baptism. It's essential to salvation. Thanks for being here.